Super Bowl Sunday includes 3 B2B brands. Super Bowl Sunday is the event of the year for consumer advertising. Find out why 3 leading B2B brands are willing to pay the $7 million advertising fee to reach their potential customers. February has arrived, the month when a young man's fancy turns to the Super Bowl. Well, maybe love too, on Valentine's Day, but the Super Bowl comes first, at least chronologically. This year's Super Bowl will take place on February 11th in Las Vegas. The Kansas City Chiefs will face the San Francisco 49ers. The halftime show, sponsored by Apple Music, will feature the iconic R&B star Usher. Taylor Swift has a gig in Tokyo the night before, so it's not clear if she can make it to the game to watch her boyfriend, Travis Kelce, play for the Chiefs. So now that we've got those preliminary details out of the way, we can turn to the truly burning question on our readers' minds. Which B2B brands will be advertising on Super Bowl Sunday this year? Advertising on the Super Bowl is prohibitively expensive for most brands, and the demographic is very broad and consumer-driven. Even so, there are always a handful of B2B brands on the advertising roster. CBS is the Super Bowl broadcaster this year, and it's already sold out its inventory of advertising slots. Reportedly, the going rate for one 30-second spot is $7 million. Readers will be relieved to hear that despite all the inflation we've been coping with, this is the same price as last year. Even so, it's a hike from the 2022 fee of $6.5 million. As I write this, at least 3 B2B brands have come up with the cash to run Super Bowl ad spots in 2024. CrowdStrike, Squarespace, and TurboTax will be mingling with the various beer, snack, and auto brands, showcasing their very latest and greatest ad creative. CrowdStrike is a cybersecurity company that has helped several leading organizations cope with data breaches. Last year was their rookie Super Bowl appearance, and they ran an ad based on the Trojan War. Recalling the cunning Trojan horse tactic by which Greece ended the siege of Troy, the ad speculates on what might have happened if the Trojans had the technology to recognize the threat the wooden horse contained. The message last year was that CrowdStrike helps businesses detect threats and prevent breaches before they happen, to keep your business from becoming history. This year's ad will present a similar message, using a Wild West motif. Squarespace offers website design and e-commerce tools to help entrepreneurs succeed. Their main customer base is small business, but they also deliver enterprise solutions. The brand is returning to the Super Bowl for the 10th time this year. They've engaged none other than legendary filmmaker Martin Scorsese to direct their commercial. Squarespace CEO David Lee says collaborating with Scorsese feels surreal. There's no word on their commercial's content, except to say that it's Scorsese's first Super Bowl experience. TurboTax is a tax preparation tool marketed under the Intuit brand umbrella. Entrepreneurs will know Intuit more for its QuickBooks and MailChimp brands, and it also owns the Credit Karma website. TurboTax offers personal income tax software and services for home and business entrepreneurs and incorporated businesses. This is their 11th return to the Super Bowl. The TurboTax ad depicts a young woman breaking with family tradition by pivoting from the traditional Italian family bakery into the perfume business. The slogan is "Make Your Moves Count," suggesting that TurboTax can support any strategic shifts your business decides to make. An old college friend of mine is fond of saying, "Exceptions prove rules," and the Super Bowl's B2B advertisers are a case in point. These are well-established B2B brands, but they cater to a much broader audience than typical B2B content marketers. These brands' potential clients are the millions of individual entrepreneurs who've come up with astute ways to profit from the e-commerce boom. Their customer persona would be the regular Joe/Jane, as opposed to the usual corporate decision maker and influencer personas on which B2B brands would typically focus. So the Super Bowl's broad demographic base works as well for these B2B advertisers as it does for brands of beer, snacks, cars, or motorbikes. The internet has relegated conventional stereotypes about who owns a business to the museum of outdated notions. Chances are the Super Bowl's ad rates are out of your B2B brand's league. Even so, there may be ways for your content strategy to target local sports teams, community events, or other neighborhood venues that reach today's everyday entrepreneurs. As always, whether this approach could work for your team depends on marketing's golden rule. Know your customer.